The word entertainment can be broken down into three parts. Enter, tain, from the Latin word meaning hold, and ment, referring to mind. Therefore, entertainment literally means to enter the mind and hold it.
But people say, well, that's not a drug, that's entertainment. 6.5 hours a day of entertainment?
Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. A million channels, nothing channeled. Bunch of reality shows full of assholes. All the popular situation comedy caught up in the oxymoronic hypocrisy. On the couch with remote on search. Seen better acting on them shopping networks. I'd like to put my foot through the glass, but without it I would have to shoot smack to relax. Every AM starts to a cartoon. Watch it in the afternoon to see the people argue. Primetime television is worse though. Surf the shit, I'd rather watch the commercials. Program a nation of clones. Subliminal seeds, watch them grow. So tune in for next week's show. Like if it wasn't on, what the fuck would you know? It goes, why no? The media. It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. A million channels selling me dreams. Expensive celebrities telling me things. So insecure I must confess that I'ma purchase whatever it takes to get sex. I need your product for my life to grow. I buy those so I can be more desirable. I'm trying everything under the sun. I want one so I can separate myself from the crumbs. White noise at the speed of light. Make me feel right so I can sleep at night. Make my teeth white. Help to build my self-esteem. Cause I believe in your magic beams. Now cast and call all attractive characters. Good night to truth and kazoo tight America. Hurry up, plug it in and serve it up. Put it on a channel full of static and turn it up. Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. When I go to the job, it's on. When I go to the bar, it's on. When I go to my home, it's on. When I go to my bed, it's on. When I pick up my son, it's on. When I'm tracking at the studio, it's on. When I'm in my hotel room, it's on. When I get on the tour bus, it's on. When I visit you in jail, it's on. When I'm at Anthony's house, it's on. When I go see Sadiq, it's on. When I'm kicking it with mom, it's on. When I'm out in Los Angeles, it's on. When I visit New York, it's on. When I'm kicking it in Texas, it's on. When I went to South Korea, it's on. Why no? It is way into my life. It should all get canceled. I don't think I can handle. You go and channel the channel. Why noise?
I've got a 55-inch television, you know, and every once in a while I hear just say no. Or the other commercial I love is when they say this is your brain on drugs.
The way in which we permit and encourage a larval relationship to television.
You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. Oh, you're
And we are addicted to caffeine, outrageous caffeine addiction, money, sugar, praise, television. Now this is the favorite one to talk about because television is a forerunner of very insidious drugs to come. It's just the crudest and the first. But imagine if afterwards.
A U.S. Daily story about subliminal messages.
I brought my box home, put it by the fish tank, turn the knobs, watch on the bright colors of many letters, cross my walls and cross my eyes when I cross my mind. Haven't left my house in 6 days, bought another box for the kitchen. Bought another box for the garage. Watch my box and wash my hair in the tub. Rubber dub, turn the knobs, got me a remote control. Stay back in Buddha position, absorbing, soaking it up like a sponge. A pool of information and glamour, a plunge deep in mind sleep. Sitting zombie eyes, lazy happiness. Loving my box, I'm loving my box. Put a box in my car, watching my box in traffic. There's a wreck on the screen, I watch my box and drive at the accident. While feeling compassionate, I'm sensitive. Moved by the visions of tragedy, that's real.
New nice car, off-road hits, mind's eye. I see the sights fed from head numb lights. Full screen, widescreen, all scene blown. Sky high, wait, slow-mo, repeat, pause, memory. Change up, paint thought, white and covered with a history, mystery, a vision free. Full blown, I watch it at night. Beer, fed through, head to the gun shop, packing steel. Watch the box, 20 Glocks and musket stocks. Loaded, ready to fire at the home invasion. Criminal, 10 more, hit the floor, but they never come as a box line. Oh no, promo in slow-mo.
For television country, figure consumption in this that vision consumption in figure for television in this for television consumption in this consumption in this country. The average American watches 6.5 hours a day of TV. It is an electronic drug. It is an obsessive behavior pattern, an unconscious behavior pattern, and a physically destructive behavior pattern. And this was done more for the rebirth of hemorrhoid specialists than any other single force in our society.
All 7 nights I watch Ghost. Fold out chair, get a full dose. Microwave meal with burnt toast. Prime time man on the West Coast. Beautiful bright screen keeps me home. Company, harmony of all styles and all celebrity makeovers. Stay glow, J-Lo with a halo. Some nights late, I stay up with a portable and calling numbers in the bottom of the screen. 2, 6, 5, 7, 8. I walk with the screen, when I talk to the screen, and I get a machine. Talk to the little men, little women that live inside my box. High tops, they wear them, so wear them too. Fade in, fade out. What is reality? I've seen all the rest of the world turning via satellite. Vocal, local, station standby. Broadcast, oddcast, it's all last. There was a break in the signal. I sat on my couch, watching the face speak to me. Tell me load my guns and take out the neighbor before preemptive attack. I stare with the face stares back. Shows me footage of my neighbor having sex with my wife. But I'm not married, but I'm still angry. Box shows me footage of my neighbor siphoning gas from my car when I was sleeping. I'm outraged, give me my cat. I'm out the streets flashing my pistol. I see my neighbor flashing too. His box showing the footage of me jacking his mail. Heated with heaters, real yelling and cussing, banging bullet percussion. Holes in my body, my blood is rushing, I'm laid out. I see a box in my neighbor's window. I see myself on the screen, 50 minutes of fame. Well, I bleed my last minute of life. I guess you can kiss me in the reruns of reality. All 7 nights I watch close. Fold down chair, get a full dose. Microwave meal with burnt toast. Prime time man on the West Coast.
The most powerful drug of the late 20th century is television and propaganda. And the way in which we consume propaganda is amazing. I mean, the most intelligent of us, the ones who hold ourselves most aloof, are probably junkies through and through.
Diseases of the psychos, be born from the smokeless fire. The wider road, beyond the rifle. Knowledge and control, dip into the roots, recycle.
We have millions of people in larval, low-awareness lives in their little condominium apartments, just ladling this garbage into their minds. The average American watches 5.5 hours of TV a day, so imagine how much time these people watch. I mean, to think of that as human at all. If that were a drug, we'd be up in arms.
A major U.S. Daily story about
Disinformation agent. I sat through every disgusting
afraid of this film.
What up?
Twice.
Think you need to let them know what's going on, baby.
And as a result,
Time to tell them.
When I'm in the streets, I always remain cautious.
Let's go.
Every society honors its live conformists and dead troublemakers. I'm the son of Satan, sculpted the culture of the ancients. Burn me at the stake with my left hand stuck in the matrix. I'm the apex. I steal science off of spaceships. Blackwater contractors captured off of camcorders. Aftermath, slaughter, violent massacre. Masters of order, burning effigies of presidents and American flags. Veterans clash for the chance to sell terror for cash. Babylon destroyed the base of Migdosh. Death codes, murder squads, exploding churches and burning mosques. Throw your dice, now your destiny's cast. And he sees a war planet over centuries past. And the mysteries remain unsolved. Colossal pyramids on Mars. Visitors beyond the scriptures of Allah. God is on the side of the ones with money and large armies. Pray for death amongst these brainwashed zombies. Society is brainwashed.
I bet you can't see what I can see.
That's right.
There's a few things we have to address.
I bet you can't see what I can see.
When I'm in the streets, I always remain cautious.
Good. November 5th, 2001, less than 2 months after 9/11 occurred. The infamous William Cooper was murdered, ex-naval intelligence officer. But now author of Behold the Pale Horse. He paid the cost. I can't say that I agree with everything that he wrote, but I admire him for speaking his mind though. Never holding his tongue for nobody. Our society is brainwashed. Guns on each other's faces for the same lies. Same everything and same nothing. Same bullshit materialism. The third world man's luxury. This false flag fuckery. An AIDS-infested junkie. Your lady, your liberty. Can't fuck me. Can't touch me. The Black Pope, superior general. Tim Oscar riding like a pirate from Inglewood. Bring the hood up to a hovering mothership. They already made the switch to the one world government.
I bet you can't see what I can see.
That's right.
There's a few things we have to address.
I bet you can't see what I can see.
When I'm in the streets, I always remain cautious.
Good. Amongst the ivory tower witch doctors, witness explosion on the Groom Lake landing strip. The silicon sorceress abandoned ship. Famine gripped the planet with the gigantic satanic fists. Believed to be linked to Al-Qaeda through his sandwich business. I don't advise you to believe these could be camera tricks. All I'm saying is to ask questions, amateurs. What Hollywood tries to pass off as a fantasy might have already happened in actuality, and vice versa. If Jesus Christ was a person, who was Mithra? Who was Krishna? Who was the first to be baptized, crucified, resurrected, betrayed and made into a martyr for someone else's redemption? Old men start wars for young dudes to die in Madison Avenue, telling you what you should be buying. Religion and science always profess peace, but in the end, who created the deadly war machine society is?
I bet you can't see what I can see.
There's a few things we have to address.
I bet you can't see what I can see.
When I'm in the streets, I always remain cautious.
That's right.
Good. God damn. I mean, you really believe that the media tells you the truth?
They lie.
The mainstream media is one of the biggest problems that this world faces today. Because the liars and criminals who populate the mainstream media have sold the lie to the world. They've sold terrorism to the world under the guise of humanitarianism. They've sold wars to the world under the guise of peace. They've sold theft and the discarding of the population to the world under the guise of austerity. They've sold poison and disease and autism to the world under the guise of supporting health in their vaccination programs. They've sold disinformation and sterility and genetic modification to the world by their support of corrupt organisations such as Monsanto. They've failed to question and even ridicule the aerial spraying that constantly takes place in our skies. They've sold lies and supported terrorism and covered up the truth and covered up the real perpetrators and who the real terrorists are on the 9/11 attacks. They've sold a disinformative and controlled and indoctrinatory education system to the public. They've sold division to the public. They've sold lie after lie after lie to this world. And they have committed the most serious crimes of any entity that has ever existed on this planet, because without the propaganda that is pushed on the hapless public by the liars who populate the mainstream media, none of the problems that we face on this earth could exist. If the people who populated the mainstream media simply told the truth and looked at things in an unbiased manner and brought real information to the world, we could heal things very quickly, and in fact the world would never have deteriorated to the state that it is. Yes.
The only reason I seek to stop to snuff the TV, I heard beats that sound like karaoke with monkey rhymers on a leash like don't have this fairy trope. Bitch, you could've got away if it was not for them meddling kids.
Throw your television out the window and don't look up to these media personalities as celebrities, folks, because they're not celebrities. They're lower than the lowest form of rodent, the lowest form of insect. And you can't hate them for it, folks, because they're either programmed to do what they do or they're just psychopaths. And either way, then they're just doing what they do. And so you can't hate them for it. But what you got to do is call it for what it is and stop buying into their lies, stop buying into their disinformation, stop looking up to these morons and these psychopaths, stop looking up to your slave masters, and stop living in a state of Stockholm Syndrome, which is what we have. The entire population seems to have Stockholm Syndrome. What we've got to do, folks, is call things for what they are. These are the cockroaches and psychopaths that populate the mainstream media. And that is really the big problem that we face, folks.
Yeah, there's going to be some changes made here. Because if they don't get a move on them and bring me in some first-class news instead of bringing me this stale news, I bet I'll lop off all the years in this office if I have to tear the building down myself.
Hey, boss, got some fast news for you.
Oh, you have?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what happened?
A man just got run over by a bus.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
When?
2 days ago.
Get out of here, you... Why, you... I'll kill him. Coming in here with this news happened last year sometime. If they don't come in here with the best news that they can get when it happened...
Hey, boss, I got some fast news.
What's the news, girl?
A woman in March just got burned up in a fire.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, when?
3 days ago.
Get out of here! What are you, 3 days ago? I don't want any news that happened last month. If things don't happen in a week... Oh, boss! Yeah? Boss, I got some fast news. Oh, you have? I got some real hot news. Yeah? Just off the press. Yeah, what is it? Man just got shot. He did? Got shot. Yeah, when? Wait a minute.
Edward George Ruddy died today. Edward George Ruddy was the chairman of the board of the Union Broadcasting Systems, and he died at 11 o'clock this morning of a heart condition, and woe is us. We're in a lot of trouble. So, a rich little man with white hair died. What has that got to do with the price of rice, right? And why is that woe to us? Because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now. Because less than 3% of you people read books. Because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel. The ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. And that's why woe is us that Edward George Ruddy died. Because this company is now in the hands of CCA, the Communication Corporation of America. There's a new chairman of the board, a man called Frank Hackett, sitting in Mr. Ruddy's office on the 20th floor. And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network? So you listen to me. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So if you want the truth, go to God. Go to your gurus. Go to yourself. Because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. You're never gonna get any truth from us. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you that Kojak always gets the killer and that nobody ever gets cancer in Archie Bunker's house. And no matter how much trouble the hero is in, don't worry, just look at your watch. At the end of the hour, he's going to win. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Við erum miklu ágjörð því að Armageddon sé kannski ótrúlega nálægt og fólk ætti að leita sér skjóls. Við veitum ekki alveg hvað að gera í málinu, en þegar skrýtnu verur eru farin að haga sér hans undarlega. Þessar aliens eru farin virkilega að gera fólk hrætt, þannig að við skulum virkilega hafa varað hjá okkur mæta eitthvað af þessum verum.
This is a message brought to you by the Anti-Venom Society. This world is plagued with corruption, greed, immoral and reckless abuse of power, misuse of technology, public funds, earthly and human resources.
Interrupt this broadcast to bring you this important bulletin.
And here is the news you've been waiting for.
Propaganda, slave labor, low wages, bad bosses, no patience, low income locations, that's propaganda. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, trolling everybody, gotta clap back. Propaganda, Democrats, Republicans, and caucuses, cutting healthcare, we dumping corpses in their offices. Propaganda, television, internet, newspapers, magazines, inoculating us with vaccines. Propaganda, gangster rap, mumble rap, what's up with that? Grew up with half of that, the other half, I don't fuck with that. Propaganda, the role of blacks in half the movies, I ain't have no weapons, you ain't have to shoot me. Yo, that's propaganda. Contaminated food supply, who survived? Every guard got brutalized, he died, that's propaganda. Mike Brown, Darren Wilson, Trayvon Zimmerman, apocalypse is imminent, that's propaganda. Get rich quick schemes, criticizing countries, then selling them an F-16 is propaganda. Alternative facts and dumb opinions, politicians, Donald Trump's Twitter fingers, that's propaganda. Frontin' like you DJ pushing buttons, straight fraudulent, you really push my buttons, propaganda. Frontin' like you lifing, but you not. Frontin' like you writing, but you not. Like you piping, but you not. Propaganda. Like you popping, but you not. Like you copping, but you not. Like you making profit, but you not. Propaganda. Oscar winners, algorithm, mass prison, black and white privilege, motion pictures. That's propaganda. Slavery and concentration camps, Gaza and the West Bank, race relations in France. Propaganda. Name brands, labels, and TV channels. ISIS and terrorists and celebrity scandals. It's propaganda. Sports and all the performance enhancers. HIV and cancer. Who got the answers? That's propaganda. Like a white picket fence, a wife in the car, children idolizing the life of a star. It's propaganda. The war on drugs, Iraq, 9/11, cocaine and crack. All of that is propaganda. Pop pills, fast food, hospital bills, Tupac alive, all of the lies that's told. Propaganda. Poverty and famine, privacy rights is vanished. Hypocrisy on this planet is propaganda. Indoctrination, unprotected penetration, compromising self to get famous is propaganda. Only 6 songs in rotation, some go to jail for murder, some only get probation. It's propaganda. Anonymous messages on the net, the government is a trip, the deficit never ends. Propaganda. Black on black, scapegoating, attention deficit. You listening? Stay focused, that's propaganda. Team this, team that, dark skin, light skin, brainwash, eat shit, that's propaganda. Snake friends, scammers that manipulate to make ends. Bottles populate rent, that's propaganda. Fake personalities on radio, fake personalities on radio, that's propaganda. Name dropping every sentence, selling drugs in every sentence, brother shot in every sentence, that's propaganda. Social media, beef and disrespect, paranoia, you extend your hand in peace, they suspect it's propaganda.
It's that part of you wants to touch and part of you just wants to sit and be impressed with it.
The Orby has nothing to fear.
Purina. Passions go, and there's an exchange of arrived at the.
Our husbands and wives.
Daddy.
What? You get some. Of us covering 5 and there.
Hurry, everyone is taking advantage of. Hurry, everyone is taking advantage.
What?
Hurry, everyone is taking advantage.
The fuck you say? What?
Hurry, everyone is taking advantage.
Damn.
Hurry, everyone is taking advantage.
Y'all want this money, the money, the fame, the fame. Y'all want the money, the money, the fame, the fame. Y'all want this money, the money, the fame, the fame. Y'all want this money, the money, the fame, the fame.
Distraction, distraction. Now look what's happening.
Look.
You can buy anything your hearts can imagine. We gon' die anyway. Let's focus on fashion. We can buy everything. Fuck it, let's cash in. We reign supreme in this land of the free, where everyone affords at least a 50-inch TV. While everyone consumes exactly what they think they need. No one really knows exactly what they're meant to be, but the options are unlimited. No one's living primitive. Drug 'em up, we limitless. We always up, we privileged. Thinking is prohibited. Focus, stay disciplined. Buy electronics, desktops, the best products. There's not a whole lot we can't cop yet. Video games, movies, I got the whole box set. My whole block lit, Americans living it up. Then we wonder why these terrorists are blowing shit up. What? Pick one, pick one.
Choose your distraction.
Which one is one?
Removes all compassion.
Get one, get one.
Improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions.
Pick one, pick one.
Choose your distraction.
Which one is one?
Removes all compassion.
Get one, get one.
Improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distraction.
Damn, so many options. Which should I choose? Let me think it over while I watch the evening news. Let me check the game. I hope the Suns didn't lose. Politics are lame. There's nothing one man can do. I'm cool. That's pretty much every person's view. Till that person being used and loses winds up you. Damn, this white dude really speaking truth. Why won't he shut the fuck up and just get outside the booth? Fuck you. I'm living like a motherfucking rock star. The only man I fear drives a motherfucking cop car. Let's keep it real. Government run this bitch. We some corporation slaves with handguns and shit. And your little AK ain't doing nothing, bitch. They push a button, nuke the block as hot as ovens get. Checkmate, checkmate. I'm at the bottom of the rabbit hole. Well, keep it real is really real, and sheep will just leave that alone. Pick one, pick one.
Choose your distraction.
Which one is one?
Removes all compassion.
Get one, get one.
Improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions. Pick one, choose your distraction. Which one? This one removes all compassion. Get one, improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions. Everything's for sale, everything is cheap. Look what we've inherited, this land of the meek. This land of police, no man can defeat. The plan can't be beat, divide all these sheep. Everything's for sale, everything is cheap. Look what we've inherited, this land of the meek. This land of police, no man can defeat. The plan can't be beat, divide all these sheep. Pick one, choose your distraction. Which one? This one removes all compassion. Get one, improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions. Pick one, choose your distraction. Which one? This one removes all compassion. Get one, improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions. Pick one, choose your distraction. Which one? This one removes all compassion. Get one, improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions. Pick one, choose your distraction. Which one? This one removes all compassion. Get one, improve satisfaction. Every option that you choose is distractions.
Y'all trapped, electrical signals show them right where you're at. Billy's at home listening to raps, or maybe you stuck in front of the 500 channels, a government office with 5 panels. Chaos, confusion, discord, bureaucracy, aftermath. Now who knows the path?
See, you ain't rockin', for instance, you poppin', but you robbin'. Hip-hop are traditions, you ain't rappers, you more like crooked politicians. Part of whose creation, new nation, trying to fuck us with no lubrication. Raping, never losing to Lucifer, Satan, calling me Cain in the cave. Man in the cave, came close but never caved in. The false image of a prophet you praising. You living in a nation, living in intimidation due to primitive media manipulation, terror tactics and intimidation. We lack innovation, looking for more fame. They control your brain. The gullible puppets of the public get played like a board game. Get your jaw reconstructed. I ain't no puppet, ain't throwing up no diamond. Here's the middle finger, go shove it. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. I'm not apologizing, I don't care what the cost is. Go ahead, corporations, you can take back your endorsements. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. You could murder me before I let you take control.
My mind is my own and I trust in my soul.
Telling you their lies and you believe in it. The mob-minded media mentality, speaking to the insecure sheep, looking for leadership. Television producers looking for losers, looking for stupider viewers. The advertisers dumbing down the consumers. You lost your integrity, you sold your soul for fame and fortune. You defeated some the rusty hanger in the back alley abortion. You ain't stopping the progression of my musical expression. Always got them guessing when I'm dropping a lesson. Let it rot in your intestine. And why so many folks is jealous that I was co-signed by Biggie. Internet nerds rewriting history, lying, saying he dissed me. I know in your small brains it might hurt, but I was there. The closest you ever got was wearing Biggie on your t-shirt. Whatever hype they supplying and advertising you buying, let me guide and enlighten. They lying, I ain't frightened of fighting. If you get offended by me and my honesty, tell my publicist she never find me making no public apology. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. I'm not apologizing, I don't care what the cost is. Go ahead, corporations, you can take back your endorsements. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. You could murder me before I let you take control.
My mind is my own and I trust in my soul.
Yo, from murdering children to dead soldiers to dead civilians to the killings and the bombings of the buildings to borrowing trillions. Who's to blame when the brain of the next insane psycho flips? Brain cells are programmed like they membrane microchips. I'm guns and Bible, I'm pro-life and pro-war, pro-fighting, profanity, writing, reciting, gambling, tossing the dice and trifling, rioting, sighting, no low-lighting, no hiding. You wanna see the true racists? Just take a look at Joe Biden. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. I'm not apologizing, I don't care what the cost is. Go ahead, corporations, you can take back your endorsements. Fuck the media posing as experts. Fuck the radio, fuck the television networks. You could murder me before I let you take control.
My mind is my own and I trust in my soul.
Quand je vois leur face qui passe, repasser ma gasse à la télé que je n'aime pas non plus. J'ai déjà expliqué que les télés font des clichés amplifiés par les déchets, que sont les auditeurs bien enfoncés dans leur canapé. Leurs gosses kiffent Dorothée, ni Foucault, ni Sabatier. Hey, hey, je n'aime pas la télé.
The media. How many of you really believe that the media tells you the truth? The media. How many of you really believe that the media tells you the truth?
They lie.
If you say the word as a mantra to yourself, MTV, and say it quickly, MTV, MTV, empty TV, empty TV.
IBM, solutions for a small planet.
Empty TV. Ever seen any kids that watch MTV? They look pretty empty to me, wouldn't you say?
MCI. The global internet became their trading floor.
Gee, we bring good things to life. Visa Gold is everywhere you want to be.
Wave this key tag at your pump and it automatically builds your credit card of choice. Don't you wish you could pay for everything that fast?
Now things are about to get out of hand. And for people like these, an incredible weapon has been created. Power the computer in the palm of your hand.
Really fun. Which is beautiful.
The reason for this unawareness of the frightening danger to our country and to the entire free world is simple. The masterminds behind this great conspiracy have absolute control of all of our mass communications media, especially television, the radio, the press, and Hollywood. We all know that our State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House have brazenly proclaimed that they have the right and the power to manage the news, to tell us not the truth, but what they want us to believe. They have seized that power on orders from their masters of the Great Conspiracy. And the objective is to brainwash the people into accepting the phony peace bait, to transform the United States into an enslaved unit of the United Nations One World Government.
This is a song that warns you in advance that next year everybody is going to try and sell you things that maybe you shouldn't ought to buy. And not only that, they've been planning it for years. They've been planning it for years. They've been planning it for years.
It was a place where everything was legal.
The governor's red pen leapt in through the X and bled then. The raindrops became transparent spots along the spine of the concrete cheetah called Pennsylvanian streets. See, today I received an email that relayed in detail a fellow poet's whereabouts on the trail to the end of being. And I rushed to turn on the nightly news to get the shiesty truths on this shit that gave me the frightening blues that a nigga might gotta go throw on his fighting shoes. So I snatched up that remote in my claws, pawed the power knob, then stopped in astounded awe when on every channel all I saw was bullshit. Channel 11 bullshit about the newest addition to the products born of the Pokemon craze. Channel 7 bullshit about why wax candles are good for your grandparents. Channel 32 bullshit about why leaving your mace out is bad for your cats. Channel 5 bullshit about just what makes the new album by Britney Spears so hot and so fat. Channel 44 bullshit about why being muy gordo es muy mal y muy calor. Escuchen. Channel 2 bullshit about how celebrities feel about faking orgasms. What? And finally, Channel 9 bullshit about a national study conducted questioning why people don't look up when it rains. Bullshit. It's obviously plain that most trudge across puddles facing the reflection of a sunny day that breaks into ripples with each step, because they'd rather look down and watch the surface tension build than open their eyes and face the source with open mouths. Who really designed your designer umbrella? Was it Calvin Klein, or was it you through sublime fear that allowed the fight in you to resign inside a captured mind, fella? I'll take not much longer to tell the truth, though. When the loopholes and the lies open up to reveal some proof, bro, the fact is that people practice silence against their oppressors for fear of getting their hands dirty. Just like people don't look up when it rains because they don't want to get their hands wet. Now, ain't that some shit? Some bullshit.
Well, fine, Arthur. Now, the choreographer is here. Would you dance for us a little bit?
Oh, yes, sir.
Not that, Arthur. Try a shuffle.
A shuffle?
Uh-huh.
Well, I tell you, I don't mind shuffling. Because actually, shuffling is a sign of defiance.
That's what's happening now. It's a different world than you're used to. You must know, most of us don't grow up like the Huxtables. You're watching every episode, but yo, don't take it literal. I know you get the message, yo, that life is not a TV show. Life's not like a TV show, TV show. Life's not like a TV show. You're watching every episode, but yo, don't take it literal. I know you get the message, yo, that life is not a TV show. Life's not like a TV show, TV show. Life's not like a TV show. Supposed to be happy days, but we're in the land of the lost. And this Charles in charge, nigga, tell me who's the boss. Disregard authority and in jail you toss. You'll end up in night court fighting LA law. Singing Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blue. Honeymoon in the moonlight, no job number 2. It's a mash, still it's a living. I'm living single with 2 other friends. We the perfect strangers, 3 different people. 3 is the crowd. What about the Jackson 5? Inside of this full house, we got the family ties. Cause family matters to us, why we had to do this. Soon all them little lads with their bad influence will be scared straight, cause Perry Mason's on the case. Hawk Hunter and Dragnet, Cagney and Lacey. SWAT chips, MacGyver with Charlie's Angels. Hire a team, you're liable to escape harm and danger. You're watching every episode, but yo, don't take it literal. I know you get the message, yo, that life is not a TV show. Life's not like a TV show.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
These and most other programs were brought to you by the corporate conglomerates for the further non-enhancement of civilian minds glued to the Idiot Box Network. Most have no redeeming value for society, and this hidden message has been closed captioned for the third eye impaired. Simplemente oprime el botón que dice despierta o no seas menso. Next up on the WABD, as the world yearns, the family crumbles.
Science. What is it all about? Technology. What is that all about? Is it good or is it whack? There's a bloke from around my hood, Staines, called Rainbow Jeremy, who reject everything to do with science. He just chill at home, he smoke his own homegrown, and check this, he don't have a telly. I ain't shitting you, he don't have a telly.
On a brighter note, commercial break.
The government has now banned the carrying of spears
wonder, do you ever think about exactly how strong a cartoon could be? If we just made hella cartoons and just showed them on the TV for the little kids to watch and pump their minds full of consciousness and pump their minds through a truth and reality, it wouldn't be that hard to change this world in which we live. You know what I'm saying? We need to start with the younger generation, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is animation. And who I be simply stating the facts plus figures move back from the traps. Is this world unknown to you? Some clone but they really can't copy. It's true, their shit comes out sloppy. So please, will somebody stop me before I get the right brigade? The ones that left you out, sitting stuck in a dimension called behave, where the winds would scream and shout, I think I can fly, but you can't. Never had a hand in creation, so you can't. And puff, your lungs are stuffed with the muck in which you wallow. When your pride is what you swallowing. So now I see you what? Following the masses. You taking illustration classes from the sheeple won't work quite like dirt. Original, a sequence of things multifaceted. So keep the products that we bring, I mean taste. So it seems so great while you listening. Canvas, we make the paint come out glistening. Acrylic as we spill it on a gesso format surface. Scream me up a t-shirt so my efforts won't be worthless and we can market this. I'll target open-minded youth, cause it shouldn't be a task or a chore to know the truth. And this is animation. And who I am simply stating the facts plus figures move back and don't touch that die. Dirtworks indication making moves for elevation through this. It's animation. And who I am simply stating the facts plus figures move back and don't touch that die. Dirtworks indication making moves for elevation through this. And I live in a reality where anything is possible. Like, if you try, you can challenge any obstacle. And the negative topics, you watch them topple down. While I'm well into with the ground, that makes me an earth sign. I got stubborn goal thoughts on my mind. Like I'm never gonna stop. My redemption's at the top of the mountain that I bike as I hike a distance of uncharted mystic paths. Some wonder why I'm natural, but I have to sit and laugh. Humbly, I elevate above the average shit you make. As my hard work pays, I take a percentage of the profits. It's all non-stoppers that surround me. At any given moment, bases pounding through the MIDI chords. Information is sent, it sounds so important. I guess that's kinda odd. Call me the awkward style god, the one that put the lines where they go. Drawing a picture behind a mask as I DJ a show, that's all I know. I gotta come tight with this shit to make you listen and look. You just might catch a glimpse of this on a station that you love. Dirtwork syndication making moves to rise above the rest. But at the same time, this is animation. And who I am simply stating the facts plus figures move back and don't touch that dial. Dirtwork syndication making moves for elevation through this. It's animation. And who I am simply stating the facts plus figures move back and don't touch that dial. Dirtwork syndication making moves for elevation through this. One simple cartoon or a comic book. Put into the computer and then it turns out a moving, animated figure delivering nothing but conscious truth to the 4, 5, and 6, 7-year-old youth. That's right. You know, we gotta start this shit at the bud. I know. Well, it's like we got a lot of ground to cover. It's something that you love. And it's like, look, this goes out to all the prepubescents, the ones that mind ain't completely filled with filth yet. And get back from that TV. Yeah. Give me the remote. Dirtwork syndication making moves for elevation through this. Animation. Stay in the facts. Look. Dirtwork syndication making moves for elevation. We making moves for elevation. Dirtwork syndication making moves for elevation. Through one simple cartoon. Think about it. How you gonna make these little kids know, really know? We gotta start from the bud. We gotta start from that 3-year-old age and on up. Alright. Since it's their words, I guess you could learn some used to it.
Hey, yeah, we the same brothers from a long time ago. We was talking about television and doing it on the radio. What we did was to help our generation realize they got to get out there and get busy because it wasn't going to be televised. We got respect for young rappers and the way they freewaying. But if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty of know-how. Remember, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be out there now. And I ain't coming at you with no disrespect. All I'm saying is that you damn well got to be correct. Because if you're going to be speaking for a whole generation and you know enough to try and handle their education, be sure you know the real deal about past situations and ain't just repeating what you heard on a local TV station. Sometimes they tell lies and put them in a truthful disguise. But the truth is, that's why we said it wouldn't be televised. They don't know what to say to our young folks, but they know that you do. And if they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? The first sign is peace. Tell all them gun-toting young brothers that the man is glad to see us out there killing one another. We raised too much hell when they were shooting us down, so they started poisoning our mind and trying to jerk us all around. And then they tell us they got to come in and control our situation. They want half of us on dope and the other half in incarceration. If the ones they want dead ain't killed by what they instigated, they can put some dope on the brother's body and claim it was drug-related. Tell them drug-related means there don't need to be no investigation, or at least that's the way they're going to play it on the local TV station, local TV station, local TV station.
Man, watch it. Any process of formation or growth, evolution by definition, now you know. So brace yourself and hold tight, prepare to ride the tidal wave of change. You're gonna fall off if you can't adapt, things don't stay the same for too long, especially if they're wrong. Evolution is such as we spread the oracle to songs, so don't expect to see our fluent movement on a TV or any big screen feature presentation. It takes more than vision to witness this transformation. Small alterations taking place in each and every single day. Sooner than you know, all of us, we make a way to a better place. But first, CBS, NBC, ABC, and TNT must be done away with. Appreciate the gift and ability to acquire knowledge. Know yourself and meet others. Earth's individuals are all brothers, sisters, and soulmates of one another. Accept it, there's no exception. It may be in disguise, but it's a blessing nevertheless. But before you can experience it, you must remove your eyes and mind from your TV sets and computers. Feel Earth's serenity and tune yourself to her frequency. Things will be so beautiful after the metamorphosis is complete. So don't be left out by sitting on your couch, staring at the box and waiting for the episode to go down. For there won't be any reruns, you can't press rewind, cause it happens one time and it won't be televised.
This will ensure resolution of the mass media, which be distorting the development of intelligent evolutionists, revolving around a dissolving, unstructured society of timeless pitfalls and preconceived perceptions. These people leave life open-ended like unfinished searches.
Step outside and smell the pollution. The evolution will not be televised. Getting fed lies in the comfort of your own home. Home to the concepts of freedom. No more easy breathing. The poison is not creeping, leaving no trace of where it came from. Scared of the sun, the slimy snail inside of his shell. Break this veil that has been casted upon you. There are no more trails left that lead through these times of chaos. Predictions have been way up. Walking contradictions adding to this modern day holocaust. Loudmouths' voices will be lost when it comes time to take action. Hibernating inside of your house will prevent the change that needs to happen. The devil stands there laughing with a distorted face. It seems that every time I get a chance to glance around my surroundings, the enemy has been placed.
We're all soldiers in mental warfare. Some are more aware than others. Pull your head out from under the covers. Brothers and sisters, we must unite so we can grow and prosper before Mother Earth gives birth to her daughter.
What if it's not what it seems? What if there's a deeper truth which lies in your dreams? What if one day you came to the conclusion that you were more than the physical shell that you were just using? What if you didn't play clueless and knew that the real illusion was the material world that you remain amused in? Electronics, cell phones, and several variations of satellite stations that you remain tuned in. Was
was really bruising your mind, causing contusions, making it more difficult as you quest for solutions. Solutions. There is a solution. Relax, be still, and concentrate on just being without movement. Observe a new sense and detach from your old ways and bathe in your newness. And learn to use this innate gift against the weapons of mass confusion. One must see past the mask they're using and observe the enemy's methods of intrusion. Uninvited invitations planned out with precise calculations, with one final destination, to get you to evade your own concentration and neglect your greatness. What if it was now you awakened in the nick of time and climbed out of the casket of self-hatred and practiced self-control as you stood next to patience, positioned steadfast as if prepared for racing. Such faithfulness it takes to walk towards the bullets from the barrels of guns held by Lucifer's agents. As you walk out of the matrix with an inner vision, palm in the pen of meekness, writing with neatness, enlightenment. Few seek this, but many need this, yet refuse to acknowledge the path of the one who reaches toward the sun rays where peace is. What if you possessed a kindness and intuition which liberated you from your blindness and bad decisions, as one's goodness overpowers one's bad intentions, as the thoughts become forensic and ally themselves with the master's mission. Mr. Merciful found himself standing under God on one of the church's benches, reaching toward the ceiling of ascension, awaiting judgment and constant repentance. What if it took a sister's heart to repair the torn arteries of another heart which suffered from an odd disease? Such a traumatic blow as if it was mauled and squeezed, tossed like debris against the ground and leaves. What if love can heal the wounds and peacefulness consume the empty spaces like antibiotics as it heals the bruise? What if this just wasn't a tune? What if this just wasn't a poem or a flow off the dome? What if it was more than a hint? What if you remain content with who you are and focus on that inner strength? What if this was your key out of the matrix? And what if you were the main character behind the painting, the play, the manifestation?
In 1835. You think that's old? Plato was doing the same thing in 300 BC when he warned about the artists, quote unquote, this has been misinterpreted by many scholars, but he just said that the artists, quote unquote, if they're given too much dominion over the mind, there will be a decline of civilization. I believe that he was aware even then of people who are still with us, still operating in our society today. Don't believe it? This is a quote. It says, "I think we are destroying the minds of America, and that has been one of my lifelong ambitions." You can read for yourself who wrote that. They're happy to tell you what they're doing. Well, here's the results of their fine work. Heroin and cocaine use among white youth climbed about 300% over the 2 decades before the 90s. For African American youth, it jumped to a staggering 13 times the rate of 20 years before. The frequency of eating disorders in teenage girls has skyrocketed. You're going to find out why. While any of these problems in isolation raises no eyebrows, taken as a group they are barometers of a sea change, a new kind of toxicity seeping into and poisoning the very experience of childhood, signifying sweeping deficits in emotional competences. But the other side, they say, oh, kids love advertising. It's a gift. It's something they want. There's something to be said about being in there first, about branding children and owning them in that way. And in boys advertising antisocial behavior in pursuit of a product, that's a good thing. In 1990, compared to the previous 2 decades, the United States saw the highest juvenile arrest rate for violent crimes ever. Teen arrests for forcible rape had doubled, teen murder rates quadrupled, mostly due to an increase in shootings. During the same 2 decades, that should be, suicide rate for teenagers tripled, as did the number of children under 14 who are murder victims. Douglas Rushkoff, in his book Media Virus, says children's television and MTV are, in fact, the easiest places to launch countercultural missiles. The more harmless or inane the forum, the more unsuspecting the audience. I highlighted MTV there for an interesting point. One of the methodologies that these individuals use in their corporate logos is based on the phoneme system. If you say the word as a mantra to yourself, MTV, and say it quickly, MTV, MTV, empty TV, empty TV, empty TV, empty, empty TV. Ever seen any kids that watch MTV? They look pretty empty to me, wouldn't you say? Well, that's what they were being told. The great philosopher and theologian Erasmus said, the main hope of a nation lies in the proper education of its youth. The others are saying to the children, forget it. Questions are a burden, and answers a prison for oneself. Let us take control. Stop thinking. It's too much of a bother. We'll take care of you. So the experts are saying what is at stake is nothing less than the next generation, particularly males who in growing up are especially vulnerable to such disruptive forces as the devastating effects of divorce, poverty, and unemployment. The status of American children and families is as desperate as ever. We are depriving millions of children of their competence and moral character. Look at just the terminology there. We are depriving millions of children of their competence and moral character. Not they, but we. Esquire magazine said kids won't even find out how much their values have been perverted until they hit the high school. And Douglas Rushkoff says we have come to expect hidden messages in our kids' television. But this story of manipulation goes way back and has occult roots. Anyone who's done their homework knows that one of the groups that operate behind secret societies, it was the Fabian Society from Oxford University. It was founded by Sidney West, who again is very happy to tell you what they're doing. He says to play on those millions of minds, to watch them slowly respond to an unseen stimulus, to guide their aspirations without their knowledge. All this, whether in high capacities or in humble, is a big and endless game of chess with ever extraordinary excitement. Well, we got them. They're called the media, but they've been around longer than television, because the word, in fact, if you study it, goes back to Medes and to a place in the Middle East, not far from where Libya is now, called Media. And in Media were the sorcerers and the astrologers, not necessarily negative people, but a tribe, a very adept cult from the ancient world who specialized in the use of talismans, amulets, mantras, and sorcery. And the kings of the world knew that if battle hadn't worked, or if legal means hadn't worked to get rid of an enemy, or you didn't want to be known that you were getting rid of your enemy, you simply called on the Medes. And you bring the representative of the media in to your court, and he'll take care of the problem, because he's going to put the spell on your enemy, the hex, because they know how to do it. And that's where we get the word Mediterranean, mediation, meditation, and medication, the medics. Study this alone, and a whole interesting subject will open itself up. Because we still have, you see, the sorcerers and the voodoo and the witch doctrine. We still have it. Only it's now the techno-shamanism. It's the silicon sorcerers. It's the ivory tower witch doctors. And they're still very busy at what they're doing up on Madison Avenue and behind the other great corporate giants who are only too happy to tell you what to think. Not how to think, but what to think. Ursula Franklin, she says, I picture the reality in which we live in terms of military occupation. We are occupied in the way that the French and the Norwegians were occupied by the Nazis during World War II, but this time by an army of marketeers. We have to reclaim our country from those who occupy it on behalf of their global masters. Interesting terms there, interesting phraseology. Well, these individuals, they do go back a long way. And they have understood completely your psyche. They've had generations, centuries to study it. Their type of sorcery involves different kinds of techniques, but it's still the same effect. Telehypnosis, metacontrast, hemisync, synesthesia, embedding. New names, new terms, but for a very old, well-known practice. To get you into groupthink, into subservience. To get you to embody dialectical divisions of which there is no end in our society. To fashion your allegiances for you. To implant associations that your mind might not normally associate. To purvey escapism, rampant escapism, and projection of fantasy into reality. To inflate false personas so that you don't have to be you. You can live it out through the person on the screen. And the excessive eroticization, especially in regards of the female. What we're talking about today has enormous consequences for the women of the planet to find their power again. But just one point, just that little anecdote there, we talked about the endless dialectical divisions. Are you aware of how many there are? And that they're crafted based on a very set agenda to pose one party or one group against the rest. We could explore that alone. We could do a whole seminar on just that one thing alone, of the dialectical divisions that are created in our society. And there are many even in the intellectual academic world, in the function of our own senses and the function of our own biology. And the two that we'll only be able to really touch on today is actually the last ones, liminal or subliminal. We'll be trying to focus more on that. But as I said, this is a very deep subject. We don't have time to go into anything more than an overview. I would love to get into the whole concept of the lost language of symbolism and do a deeper work on this subject. But that time will have to come. Right now we just have to keep it very topical and accessible. Not only do we have those divisions, but we've got a very, very important tripartite division that these media sorcerers use on us. It is the simple division between the three kinds of intelligence that we have. Most people think only in terms of mental intelligence. No. We should know that there is also body intelligence. Your body is an intelligent, vibrant, living thing. Completely self-contained intelligence there, cellularly. The mind, of course, we're familiar with. Overstated in our culture to an unbelievable degree. But then there's the heart, the intelligence of the heart. And they know how to send signals and coded messages to each of those kinds of intelligence. When you think they're talking to one, actually they're talking to another. And vice versa. So it's kind of hard to track it. It takes symbol literacy to know what they're doing. Who is the enemy? What tools are they using?